They used to say, words couldn't hurt me. Videos, just my name, they getting thirsty. Go ahead and put him in a hearse seat. It's getting murky, this time I deserve this. I'm ready for whatever war said he been a matador. Skin for the things I'm dreaming for.
Dear Take, it's so hard to tell you I'ma miss you because you always with me and we did everything together. Since we were kids, you've been by my side looking up at me. The Mars waiting on me to make the next move. Then you followed up right behind me. You always made sure I did it first so you could do it right with me. You never competed with me. We were always on the same team. You hated playing against me because I was always playing too hard or too rough. Then I could hear my mama say, son, not too rough, because I didn't like to lose. Remember, our first dream was to be tag team partners in WWE. We fell in love with WWF wrestling. Man, we had every action figure, thought we was going to be pro wrestlers because the way he imitated all the wrestlers so good, and if you know Take, his imitation skills are to the T. He could imitate anybody, just ask Danny and P. Super quiet though, quietest in the room, but paid attention to everything going on in the room. Always been like that. Nothing ever really bothered Take, and he didn't bother anybody. He the most unbothered person in the world. He never got mad, he never raised his voice, and when he did, he silenced the room because what Take said was law. He wasn't changing his mind for not even could. You just gotta let him cool off for about 30 minutes. But by far the funniest person in the room. Once you got him going, he wouldn't stop. And last but not least, he took time with everything. We called it Takeoff time. Whenever we would be running late to the shows, he would say, God will get us there on time. Some shows God did, some shows we were late. Point is, he trusted God though. Throughout this whole time, he had a real passion for music. It was his dream to become a rapper because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I tried everything, all the sports. After every game, I would come home and he would just sit there playing the game with his controller in his hand looking. And look at my face, and he could tell we lost another game. So sports wasn't his thing because he saw me lose all the time. This is how I knew he was going to be a rapper. Growing up, he knew every song off the Hot Boys album, every lyric, word for word, and he was cursing up a storm. Mama heard him rapping, took the CD, and said that music was too grown for us until we won Boys and Girls Club talent show together, performing Get Your Roll On by Big Timers. It was all good then. So it's safe to say we had something going then. It came easy to us when it came to style and swag. We were always looking like somebody because our mama dressed us like rappers or grown men, as you can see in the pictures. Our clothes were huge, but we had the look. Then he created this triplet flow, and the rest was history. He never worried about titles, credit, or what man got the most shine. That wasn't him. He didn't care about none of that, as long as we brought it back home to the family. This whole time I've been trying to figure out what you really are to me, because nephew wasn't it. We hated that word nephew, or when they said uncle few, because we always knew we were way closer than that, and it made me feel old too. But I knew you weren't my brother because you were my sister's son, so I couldn't say brother. Now I finally get it. You are our angel. Watching me and watching us this whole time in living form, making sure everyone felt your love and hugs while you were here. You made sure our dreams come true. Whenever you spoke it, it manifested. When you said God gonna do it, he did it. I'm just proud to be in your life. I'm proud to be your uncle. I'm proud we saw the world and done things we couldn't ever imagine together. We laughed way more than we ever argued. And when we did, I always was in the wrong every time. I guess mama made that rule too. I'm proud to say I've seen your blessings. I've seen you bless me. You bless mama. You bless Sarah. You bless Treat, Heaven, and Zeke. You continue to send your blessings down from heaven, and I will continue to keep your name alive as long as I live. It's always my responsibility to look after my nephews and nieces. I will do that before we make moves or any decisions we gonna say what would Take think. Always been, ain't nothing gonna change. Me and you knew we was always gonna be with each other for life. And just like now, we gonna see each other again. I love you with all my heart. I'll never leave you. I guess God just ain't need my help. So can you ask him for me what I gotta do to be with you again? In a place where there's no pain, no demons, no jealousy, no envy, no greed. Whatever we had to do, God, to be at that place of paradise, send us the tools now because we want to be with Take. Love you, nephew. So let's just keep it all the way authentic. Y'all gonna dissect that and dissect it and dissect it some more. There were things that he didn't say that people wanted him to say. I'm gonna be honest with you. Nothing short of him dropping a whole confessional video on what happened to the police and then it getting dropped to TMZ or whomever is going to make sense for the majority of y'all. And it's not because y'all truly care about the Migos or anything like that, right? And I'm going to tell you why that is. If people truly cared about the Migos and Takeoff and Quavo and Offset like that, that video never would have got recorded. That's number one. Number two, the funeral would have never got recorded, right? And then I find it interestingly hilarious when you hear morons like Gilly talk about filming death all the time, but nobody said nothing when Princess Diana had her whole entire stuff filmed. That's where it started. So don't try to make this a black thing. But I digress. Remember, matter of fact, no, Versace. I just learned this yesterday, sitting at Cuz crib. They filmed him. You see what I'm saying? So when it happened to the other pigmented people, it's not a problem, but with us, it's a problem. But either way, I digress. Let's do it this way. He never talked about the crime. He never talked about revenge because he couldn't. That would be an admission that you're going to have premeditated murder or premeditated assault, premeditated anything. That's number one. Number two, what could he have truly said besides what he said? He couldn't admit that it was his fault. He just said, from now on, I'm going to look after my people. That was the most damning part of what he wrote. What do you mean you're going to look after all your nieces and nephews? You mean you weren't doing that before? So that's the only problem that I could perceive anybody else having. Me personally, I don't have a problem with what he wrote because he couldn't really write anything. It's still an active, open investigation, number one. Number two, you never let the left hand know what the right one is doing. Number three, like I told y'all before, I don't really think them dudes is street dudes like that. Do I believe they ran the streets and all that? Yeah, absolutely. It's not hard to do that. Ain't nothing tough about running the streets. It's lightweight dumb. But we gonna just let it play out, bro. Let the police do their job and everything like that over here. Now, anybody else that look at videos and all that, that's cool. I find it entertaining too. That's something I don't do personally, but I definitely watch and see all that, and I'll give my opinion on it from what I see, from what others did, not from what I do. And that's not a shot at anybody, but it's people who sending me videos and stuff like that, and I'm like, bro, that's not what I do. Once again, that's not what I do. Anybody else do it, that's cool. That's for them. It's not a shot at nobody. But I run a different kind of channel. Mine is just opinionated. I go look at a bunch of things. If you got stuff that's out in the public, I'm about to go see it. If you made statements to the courts, I'm about to go read it. So we gonna see what happens. But as it go right now, bro, he couldn't have said anything else. Let's just keep it all the way real. But some of y'all ain't gonna like what he wrote. So let me know. What didn't you like about what he said? Make sure you share to keep your people aware. If you react to the video or just snatch out the part of me talking about what Quavo said, I ain't tripping. It ain't no big deal. Like, really, in all honesty, I don't care. I just did the heavy lifting for you. I'll ask that y'all subscribe, turn on that bell to stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. Let's talk about it. I don't block none of the trolls anyways. Y'all expect me to keep it real? Because you know that I will. I do this daily, baby. Check out the Nightly Nash podcast. Also, Street the Music Steady Nash if you have not. It's on all streaming platforms. Guaranteed you're going to find something you like. Probably like that overly thugging freestyle. Or maybe something different. Let me know in the comments. We possibly shoot that music video.